Chosen One, this message has found you at the perfect time. This is not a coincidence. This is destiny unfolding before your eyes. The universe, the divine, and your own higher self have aligned to bring you here, right now, at this exact moment. You have always felt different, haven't you? A deep knowing within you whispers that you do not truly belong in the world around you. You've questioned your purpose, your struggles, and the very nature of your existence. And now, the truth is ready to be revealed. You are not ordinary. You were never meant to be. You are the lost child of a royal bloodline, a lineage not of this world, but of divine origin. Your very soul carries the mark of the chosen ones, those who were separated from their true inheritance and placed among the ordinary, but never meant to stay there. The time for your awakening has come. The signs have been appearing. The synchronicities, the deep spiritual pull, the unseen forces guiding you towards something greater. This message is not just words. It is a call to your soul, a reminder of who you truly are. Are you ready to discover? From the moment you were born, the world has tried to convince you that you are just like everyone else. You have been told to conform, to follow the rules, to fit into the mold that society has created. Yet deep within your soul, you have always known that something was different about you. No matter how much you tried to blend in, there was always a lingering feeling that you were meant for something more. You have questioned why you see the world differently, why you feel things so deeply, why you cannot accept the shallow pursuits that seem to satisfy others. The answer is simple. You were never meant to be ordinary. You are part of something far greater than you can imagine, a sacred bloodline, a lineage of spiritual warriors, divine leaders, and enlightened beings. This bloodline has existed since the beginning of time, carrying the wisdom and power of the divine. But throughout history, forces have worked tirelessly to suppress it, to keep the chosen ones hidden, asleep, and disconnected from their true nature. They have placed you in families and environments that do not recognize you, surrounded you with distractions, and created illusions to make you forget who you are. But the truth cannot be erased. You have always been different because you were meant to be. While others are content with the illusions of this world, you have been searching for something real. You have been drawn to ancient wisdom, spiritual truths, and knowledge that goes beyond the material world. This is because your soul remembers. It carries sacred knowledge that cannot be found in books, wisdom passed down through generations of divine beings. Even when you were unaware of it, your spirit was guiding you back to the truth of who you are. You are not just learning, you are remembering. Your life has not been easy, and that is no coincidence. Every hardship, every betrayal, every moment of loneliness was not meant to break you. It was meant to awaken you. The world has tested you, placing obstacles in your path, trying to dim your light. You have been made to feel like an outcast, like you do not belong. But in reality, all of this has been part of a greater plan. The fire you have walked through was not meant to destroy you. It was meant to forge you into the powerful being you were always meant to become. And now, the time has come for you to rise. The illusions are fading, and your soul is calling you to step into your true power. No longer will you shrink yourself to fit into a world that was never meant for you. No longer will you doubt the deep knowing that has always been inside you. You are awakening, stepping into the truth of your divine identity. The forces that have tried to suppress you can no longer hold you back. You are part of something ancient, something sacred, something unstoppable. From the moment you took your first breath, your path was different. Unlike those around you, your life was never filled with ease or effortless belonging. Instead, you have walked a road marked by struggle, loneliness, and an unshakable hunger for something more. But none of this was by accident. Every challenge, every unanswered question, and every moment of feeling like an outsider was part of something far greater than you ever imagined. Long before you were born, a prophecy was written, one that spoke of the lost children, those who would one day awaken to their true nature and reclaim the power that was always meant for them. You are one of them. You are the lost child separated from your divine inheritance, hidden among the ordinary so that, in time, you would remember who you truly are. The ancient prophecies tell of souls like yours, beings who were once connected to a higher realm, seated upon spiritual thrones, but cast into a world of illusion. The forces that seek to control this world feared the awakening of the lost children, for they knew that once these souls reclaimed their true identities, everything would change. The wisdom they carry is ancient and powerful, but before they can step into their destiny, they must first endure trials that will shape them into the warriors they were always meant to be. You have spent your life feeling different, as though you were out of place in a world that does not understand you. You have questioned why your soul seems disconnected from those around you, why your heart longs for something beyond what this world offers. But now, the answer is clear. You were never meant to fully belong here. You were placed in this world not to conform, but to awaken. You were born into a system that was designed to keep you asleep, blind to your true power. The distractions, the expectations, the pressures, all of it was meant to keep you from remembering. But despite everything, your soul has resisted. No matter how many obstacles life has thrown at you, something deep inside you has always pushed back. That unshakable feeling that you are meant for more, that your existence holds a deeper purpose, is not a mere thought. It is a calling. It is the whisper of the prophecy echoing within you, reminding you of the truth that the world has tried to make you forget. The prophecy states that before their awakening, the lost child must endure suffering. They will be cast aside, misunderstood, and rejected. They will feel abandoned, betrayed, and unseen. The world will do everything in its power to convince them that they are weak, that they are alone, that they are not enough. But the prophecy also states that through this suffering, they will develop a strength that cannot be broken. They will rise not because they were given an easy path, but because they have been forged in the fire of adversity. And now, it is your time. The illusions are fading, and the truth is breaking through. You can feel the shift happening within you. The world that once held you captive no longer has power over you. The struggles that once seemed unbearable now make sense. Every moment of isolation, every hardship, every tear has been preparing you for this moment. The time has come for you to step into who you were always meant to be. You are no longer lost. You are awakening. And as you rise, the world around you will begin to change. This is your journey. This is your prophecy. And now it is time for you to embrace it. Your journey has been one of solitude, and this is no accident. From the very beginning, you have walked a path that few can understand. While others moved through life feeling at home in the world, you felt different, like an outsider looking in, searching for a connection that always seemed just out of reach. You have felt the weight of isolation pressing against you, the deep ache of being misunderstood, and the quiet struggle of feeling disconnected from those around you. But make no mistake, this was never a punishment. It was preparation. The loneliness you have experienced was not a sign that something was wrong with you. It was a necessary trial, a sacred process designed to shape you into the person you were always meant to become. The test of separation is one of the most challenging obstacles that a chosen one must endure, yet it is also one of the most powerful. It strips away illusions, removing the distractions and external influences that keep so many people trapped in a false reality. It forces you to rely on the only things that truly matter, your inner strength and your connection to the divine. Throughout history, the greatest spiritual leaders, prophets, and enlightened beings have walked this same path before stepping into their destiny. They too were cast out, rejected, misunderstood. They too felt the sting of isolation. But this was not a mistake. It was a necessary step in their transformation. Before they could rise, they had to first endure the silence. They had to learn to listen to the voice within, to find clarity in the emptiness, to build strength in the absence of external validation. The same is true for you. The solitude you have faced was meant to purify you. It was designed to remove the noise of the world, to strip away everything that was not aligned with your true purpose. It was in the moments of stillness, when you had no one else to turn to, that you found the greatest truth. The quiet forced you to look inward, to face yourself, to uncover the wisdom that had always been within you. You were never truly alone. Even in your loneliest moments, you were being guided, shaped, and prepared for something far greater than you could imagine. Now, you must accept this truth. The pain of separation was never meant to break you. It was meant to reveal your strength. It was not meant to make you feel unworthy, but to remind you that you were never meant to fit into the mold of this world. You were chosen to rise above, to see beyond the illusions, to walk a path that few are strong enough to take. The test of separation was never meant to be easy, but it was always meant to lead you to exactly where you are now. You have endured, you have grown, you have awakened, and now it is time to step fully into who you were always meant to be. The moment you realize who you truly are, everything begins to change. It is not a gradual shift, but a complete transformation, one that reshapes your mind, your soul, and your spirit. The world you once knew starts to feel unfamiliar, as if the veil that kept you blind has suddenly been lifted. What once entertained you now feels empty. The conversations and distractions that used to hold your attention no longer resonate. The relationships that once seemed comfortable begin to feel forced, as if they no longer belong in your life. It is as though a hidden layer of reality has been exposed, and you can no longer pretend that you do not see it. As your awakening deepens, your intuition sharpens. You start noticing the things that others overlook, feeling the energies that others ignore. Your dreams become more vivid, sometimes carrying messages and visions that feel almost prophetic. The patterns of the universe become clearer, and the signs that were always there suddenly make sense. You begin to recognize the illusions that have kept people trapped, the falsehoods that have shaped their beliefs, and the deceptions that have controlled their lives. You no longer accept things at face value because you can see through the veils that once blinded you. This is the beginning of your true power. The moment you step beyond the illusions and into the truth of your existence. But understand this, awakening is not easy. It is not a path of comfort, nor is it a journey that many will understand. To awaken is to face the truth, and sometimes the truth is painful. It means confronting the lies you once believed, the conditioning that shaped you, and the attachments that no longer serve you. It means letting go of people, habits, and situations that you once held close but now realize are holding you back. This part of the journey can feel lonely, as many around you may not understand the changes taking place within you. Some may question you, some may resist your transformation, and some may even try to pull you back into the version of yourself that you have outgrown. But you must stand firm. This awakening is not a mistake. It is your destiny. The universe has been guiding you toward this moment, preparing you for the path that only a few are strong enough to walk. You must embrace who you are, even when it means standing alone. You must trust in your inner wisdom, even when others doubt you. And above all, you must claim your inheritance, not as something that needs to be earned, but as something that has always belonged to you. You are awakening to your divine nature. You are stepping into your power, and once you begin this journey, there is no turning back. The illusions of the past can no longer hold you, and the truth that has been revealed can never be unseen. You are no longer lost, no longer asleep. You are becoming who you were always meant to be. Now, it is time to walk forward with courage, with purpose, and with the unshakable knowing that you are destined for something greater. Accepting your divine birthright is only the first step. Now, you must rise and reclaim what has always been yours. You were never meant to live in doubt, uncertainty, or fear. You were born with a sacred inheritance, one that has been hidden beneath layers of conditioning, deception, and self-doubt. But the time for hesitation is over. Now is the moment to step into your true power. Your inheritance is not material wealth or earthly possessions. It is far greater. It is the wisdom of your ancestors, the strength of your spirit, and the divine authority that has always been within you. It is the unshakable truth that you are not ordinary, that you were chosen for something beyond the limitations of this world. No longer will you question your worth. No longer will you search for validation outside of yourself. Everything you have been seeking has been inside you all along. You are not here to ask permission to be who you are. You are not here to beg for what has always belonged to you. You are here to claim it. Speak it into existence. Declare it with unwavering confidence. I am the lost child of the divine kingdom, and I reclaim my power. The moment you say these words with conviction, something within you shifts. The chains that once held you back begin to break. The illusions that kept you small start to dissolve. The forces that have tried to suppress you can no longer stand in your way. You are no longer bound by the past. You are no longer confined by the expectations of the world. You are stepping into the fullness of your divine identity. Final message to the chosen ones. Everything you have been through, every trial, every heartbreak, every moment of isolation, was leading you to this truth. You are royalty. You have walked through the fire. You have endured the storms. And yet, you are still here. That alone is proof of your power. The time for doubt is over. The time for hesitation has passed. You are no longer lost. You are no longer searching. You have found your way home, to yourself, to your truth, to your divine inheritance. Now, rise. Your time has come. That is more than enough. Like this message, comment below. Subscribe so you don't miss any future revelations. And most importantly, step into your divine calling. May God bless you richly. May His favor surround you. There comes a time when everything shifts, when the struggles, the waiting, and the silent battles finally make sense. That time is now. You are not here by accident. This message has found you because you were meant to receive it. You are one of the chosen ones, the ones who have been tested, broken, and refined through life's trials. For years, you have fought battles no one saw. You have endured storms that should have destroyed you, yet you are still standing. Why? Because you were never ordinary. You were chosen. And now, the final step is here. At 3 a.m., a divine shift is about to take place. This is not just another moment in time. It is a portal, a sacred opening where heaven and earth meet. Destiny is calling your name. Will you answer? Number 1. The journey of the chosen. Why you have been tested. The path of the chosen ones has never been easy. From the very beginning, you were set apart for something greater, something beyond what the world could see. But with that calling came trials, challenges, and moments that tested you to your core. You have endured seasons of pain, questioning if God had abandoned you. You have watched others move forward effortlessly while you remained in a season of waiting, praying, and wondering if your struggles held any purpose at all. But here is the truth. Every battle you fought was shaping you into who you were meant to be. God saw you in your darkest moments. Every tear you cried in solitude, every whispered prayer, every night you lay awake feeling lost. He was there. Not once did He turn away. He was not punishing you. He was preparing you. The weight you carried, the obstacles you faced, and the storms that seemed relentless were never meant to break you. They were meant to build you. Like a diamond formed under pressure, you were being refined through fire, shaped for the destiny that awaits you. Many crumble under the weight of adversity, allowing pain to turn them bitter, faithless, and afraid. But you transformed. Instead of letting hardship harden your heart, you allowed it to teach you. Instead of surrendering to despair, you held on to faith, even when everything inside you wanted to give up. When the world told you to stop believing, you pressed on. When circumstances made you question your worth, you chose to trust in something greater than yourself. And now, you are stepping into your breakthrough. The trials that once seemed unbearable were, in reality, the very things that strengthened you. Every delay, every moment of suffering, and every unanswered question were all part of your divine preparation. You are no longer who you used to be. The fire has refined you. The pain has strengthened you. And now, you are ready. This is the moment you have been waiting for. The door is open. Step into the life you were always meant to live. Number 2. The power of 3 a.m., the divine hour. Throughout history and across different spiritual traditions, 3 a.m. has been recognized as a time of deep spiritual significance. It is not just another hour, it is a sacred window, a moment when the barriers between the physical and spiritual worlds are at their thinnest. In this stillness, divine messages are whispered, revelations unfold, and those who are awake can feel an unexplainable presence guiding them. In Christianity, it is believed that Jesus often withdrew to pray in the early morning hours, seeking divine strength and communion with God before facing the trials ahead. Many spiritual leaders and believers have experienced moments of deep clarity and divine instruction during this sacred hour. It is a time when prayers carry a different weight, when answers come more freely, and when faith is strengthened in the quiet stillness of the night. In Hinduism and Buddhism, this period is known as Brahma Muhurta, which translates to the Creator's Hour. It is considered the most powerful time for meditation, spiritual practice, and connection with the higher self. Ancient wisdom teaches that during this time the mind is at its most peaceful and receptive, making it easier to access higher states of consciousness, wisdom, and divine insight. Those who meditate or pray at this hour often report feeling an immense sense of clarity, as if they are being guided by an unseen force. In ancient mysticism, 3 a.m. is referred to as the veil-thinning hour, a time when the spiritual realm is closest to the physical world. This is when prophetic dreams, supernatural encounters, and profound revelations occur. It is the moment when divine intervention is most active, and those who are spiritually attuned can receive downloads of wisdom, warnings, and messages about their destiny. This is why 3 a.m. is not just another hour on the clock. It is a divine portal, a moment when miracles happen. If you have been waking up at this time unexpectedly, feeling a stirring in your soul, it is not a coincidence. It is a calling. You are being awakened for a reason, whether to pray, to listen, or to prepare for the shift that is about to take place in your life. Do not ignore it. Lean into it. Something extraordinary is waiting for you. Number 3. Signs that you are entering a higher calling. There comes a point in life when something within you begins to shift, an undeniable pull towards something greater, something beyond the ordinary. You may not be able to explain it, but deep inside you feel a change happening. This is not your imagination. It is a spiritual awakening. You are stepping into a higher calling. One of the first signs of this transformation is a deep sense that something is shifting. You feel as though you are on the verge of something significant, even if you do not yet know what it is. There is an inner knowing that your life is about to change, that doors are about to open, and that you are being prepared for a greater purpose. This feeling is not random, it is divine intuition, gently guiding you toward your next chapter. You may also experience heightened sensitivity. Your emotions become more profound, your intuition sharper. You start to sense things before they happen, and your connection to the energy around you intensifies. You notice people's true intentions more clearly, and your ability to feel the emotions of others deepens. This is because your spiritual awareness is expanding, allowing you to perceive what was once hidden. Another undeniable sign is unexplainable synchronicities. You begin to see patterns, repeating numbers like 1111, 333, or 555. You encounter divine messages through dreams, music, or conversations that seem to carry a deeper meaning. You meet people at exactly the right moment, as if the universe itself is orchestrating events in your favor. These synchronicities are not coincidences. They are confirmations that you are aligning with your divine path. If you find yourself waking up at 3 a.m., receiving dreams or visions, take it as a powerful sign. This is a sacred hour when divine wisdom is most easily transmitted, Many people who are stepping into their higher calling report having vivid dreams, prophetic visions, or waking up feeling as though they have received a message from beyond. Pay attention to these moments. They are invitations to listen, reflect, and prepare for what is coming. You may also begin to feel a growing detachment from the material world. While others chase money, status, or material possessions, you find yourself craving deeper meaning. You are no longer satisfied with superficial things. You long for purpose, for spiritual growth, for a connection with something greater than yourself. The things that once entertained you may now feel empty, and your focus shifts toward higher wisdom, self-discovery, and fulfilling your soul's mission. If you are experiencing these signs, you are ready. Your spirit is awakening, and you are being called to step into a greater version of yourself. Do not ignore these feelings, for they are guiding you toward your true path. Embrace them, trust them, and prepare because your higher calling is unfolding before you. Number 4. How to prepare for the transformation at 3 a.m. A powerful shift is coming, and preparation is essential. This is not just another moment in time, it is a divine invitation to step into a new version of yourself. How you prepare will determine how fully you receive what is coming. Aligning yourself spiritually, mentally, and physically will allow you to embrace this transformation with clarity and strength. The first step is to create a sacred space. Your environment reflects your spiritual state, so it is important to remove anything that carries negative energy or causes distraction. Clear out clutter, light a candle, burn incense, or play soft, meditative music. Make your space a place of peace and reflection, somewhere you can be still and connect with God, the universe, or your higher self without interference. Next, pray with intention. At 3 a.m., when the world is quiet and distractions fade, seek divine clarity. Speak from your heart, ask for guidance, and open yourself to receiving wisdom. Whether you pray in silence, whisper softly, or speak with boldness, know that your words carry power. This is a moment of direct connection. Pour out your spirit and trust that you are being heard. As revelations come, write down divine messages. Keep a journal beside your bed to capture dreams, sudden insights, or spiritual nudges. Often, messages received in the early morning hours can feel subtle at first, but writing them down allows you to reflect on patterns and deeper meanings later. Pay attention to recurring symbols, emotions, or words that seem to stand out. They may be the answers you have been waiting for. Another crucial way to prepare is to fast and detoxify. Spiritual clarity often comes when the body is in harmony with the soul. Consider cleansing your system by fasting from unhealthy foods, social media, or anything that clouds your energy. When you lighten your physical state, your spiritual sensitivity increases. This is not just about physical health. It is about clearing out distractions so that your mind and spirit can function at a higher level. Your outer appearance should also reflect your inner readiness. Dress with intention, treating this moment as a sacred encounter. Wear something that makes you feel spiritually aligned, whether it is white to symbolize purity, comfortable clothing for meditation, or something that carries personal significance. This act is not about vanity, but about honoring the transformation that is about to take place. Finally, speak your intentions boldly. Declare out loud, "I am ready for my transformation." Words have power, and when spoken with conviction, they send a clear signal to the universe. Verbal affirmations help to align your thoughts, emotions, and energy with your desires. Stand firm in your declaration and believe that what you are preparing for is already on its way. By taking these steps, you are not merely hoping for change, you are actively preparing for it. You are telling the universe, God, and your own soul that you are ready to receive, ready to transform, and ready to step into your destiny. Number 5. What to expect at 3 a.m. The divine visitation. At 3 a.m., something extraordinary is set to unfold. The atmosphere will shift, the energy around you will change, and if you are awake and receptive, you will experience a divine connection unlike anything before. This is not just another hour on the clock. It is a sacred moment, a time when the spiritual and physical realms align, allowing divine wisdom to flow freely. Some will feel an overwhelming sense of peace washing over them, a deep calm that reassures them they are exactly where they are meant to be. Others may experience dreams and visions, receiving symbolic messages that reveal their next steps. Some will feel a surge of energy and clarity, as if their mind has been awakened to truths they were previously unable to see. During this time, you may feel an overwhelming sense of purpose, knowing that you are stepping into something greater. It will no longer feel like you are lost or wandering. Instead, your spirit will recognize that you have been divinely guided to this very moment. Everything you have endured, every struggle you have faced will begin to make sense. You may also receive a direct message or instruction from God. This could come as a sudden realization, an intuitive nudge, or even a strong inner voice guiding you toward a specific path. Pay attention to any thoughts or feelings that arise during this time. They may carry the answers you have been seeking. For many, 3 a.m. brings a sudden release from past burdens. You may feel as though the weight you have been carrying, fear, doubt, regret, has finally been lifted. The chains of the past no longer hold you, and for the first time in a long time, you feel free. This is your moment. Do not sleep through it. If you wake up at this hour, do not dismiss it as coincidence. Lean into it. Listen. Be still. You are being prepared for something life-changing, and this sacred hour is your gateway to receiving it. Number 6. The responsibility of the chosen ones. This transformation you are experiencing is not just for you, it is for those you are meant to help. When God elevates you, He does so for a reason. You were chosen, not just to receive blessings, but to become a blessing to others. Your journey was never meant to be walked alone. It was designed to prepare you to lead, to guide, and to uplift those who are still searching for the light. With this awakening comes a new mission. You are now called to be a light for those still lost in darkness, the ones who feel trapped by their circumstances, weighed down by pain, or blinded by doubt. You have walked through the fire and emerged stronger, and now it is your duty to illuminate the path for those who cannot yet see the way forward. You must also offer hope to those who feel forgotten. Just as you once questioned whether your prayers were heard, there are others who are crying out in silence, desperate for a sign that they are not alone. You are that sign. Your transformation is proof that no matter how lost someone feels, no matter how long they have suffered, change is possible. Your story will become their hope, and your faith will inspire them to believe again. Above all, you must show others that transformation is possible. The world is full of people who believe that they are beyond saving, that they are too broken, too lost, too far gone. But you are living proof that God restores, that healing is real, and that even the deepest wounds can be turned into strength. When people see the shift in your life, they will begin to wonder if the same is possible for them, and through your example, many will find the courage to step into their own transformation. The people who once doubted you will look to you for guidance. The ones who mocked your faith will be forced to acknowledge its power. Those who question your purpose will see it unfold before their eyes. You were never meant to be ordinary. You were chosen. And with that calling comes great responsibility, to lead with love, to walk with purpose, and to bring light to a world that desperately needs it. At 3 a.m., a door will open. A new path will be revealed, one that leads to transformation, purpose, and divine alignment. But here's the truth. Not everyone will walk through it. Many will see the opportunity, feel the shift, and recognize the call, yet fear, doubt, or hesitation will hold them back. Opportunities are divine gifts, but they do not force themselves upon us. They require action. They require faith. If you hesitate, you may miss your moment. The universe, God, and destiny itself are extending an invitation, but only those who are ready to step forward will receive what is on the other side. This is the moment of decision. At 3 a.m., when the world is still and the veil between the seen and unseen is at its thinnest, the universe is asking you, are you ready? Are you ready to let go of the past and step into the future? Are you ready to trust that everything you have been through has led you to this exact moment for a reason? Your answer will determine what happens next. The door is open, the path is before you, but you must have the courage to walk through it. Do not allow fear to keep you standing at the threshold. Do not let hesitation rob you of the blessing that is waiting. If you believe in divine timing, if you have felt the call at 3 a.m. and if you are ready to step into your destiny, then take action now. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss another powerful message. Your breakthrough is here. Stay connected, stay ready, and walk boldly into your calling. There comes a moment in life, sometimes sudden, sometimes subtle, when something inside you stirs. A whisper, a flicker, a strange clarity that breaks through the chaos, telling you, you were never ordinary. You were never meant to sleep. This moment, right here, is not an accident. It's alignment, a calling. You are not watching this by chance. You were guided here. Because you're one of them, one of the chosen. But the world never wanted you to realize that. They tried to drown you in doubt, covered your brilliance in confusion, kept you distracted, disconnected. And now, they're terrified. Because you're remembering. And once the chosen remember, everything that tried to control them, fear them, erase them, starts to collapse. This isn't just a message. This is your activation. From the very beginning, you may have felt like life placed unusual weight on your shoulders, like every step forward stirred resistance, like every glimmer of peace was quickly followed by conflict. But what you faced hasn't been random or personal in the way you once thought. They weren't fighting you. They were fighting what chose you. See, you were never just a name, a face, a person minding their own business. You were a vessel, marked by something ancient, something eternal, something that could not be manipulated or owned. Long before you knew who you were, they did. They recognized your frequency, your divine imprint, and that terrified them. Because your presence doesn't just speak, it vibrates. Your energy doesn't blend in, it exposes. You don't follow the patterns, you break them. And so they did everything in their power to disconnect you from your source. They tried to bury your identity beneath doubt, drown your voice beneath noise, and derail your purpose with endless distraction. Not because of your appearance, not because of your past, but because of what lives within you, something they could never recreate. The light in your spirit, the truth in your words, the force in your silence. It threatened the illusions they built to maintain control. You were born into a world that fears the awakened, because the awakened do not conform, they do not submit, and more dangerously, they ignite others. That's what they feared most. Not just your awakening, but the ripple effect it would cause. The pressure you felt wasn't punishment, it was proof. The resistance you encountered wasn't rejection, it was recognition. Every attack on your soul was a desperate attempt to stop something they could never touch. Because when the universe chooses someone, it doesn't ask for permission. It doesn't wait for credentials. It simply says, you. And that choice alone shatters systems. They didn't want to erase you. They wanted to erase the echo of something greater moving through you. But what they failed to realize is that the same pressure they used to try to break you only refined you. What they saw as a threat was actually a prophecy. And now that you're starting to remember, they're the ones who should be afraid. The greatest weapon they ever used against you wasn't force, and it wasn't fear. It was doubt. Not the loud kind that crashes in like thunder, but the quiet, creeping kind that whispers from within. They didn't have to cage your body or silence your voice outright. All they had to do was convince you to doubt yourself. Slowly, subtly, skillfully. Every time you felt deeply, they called you too sensitive. Every time you spoke truth, they labeled you too intense. They wrapped your intuition in shame and painted your light as a threat. Why? because they knew from the very beginning what you didn't yet realize. You were powerful. So powerful, in fact, that they had to trick you into dimming your own brilliance. You see, they couldn't extinguish your fire, so they handed you the extinguisher and made you believe it was necessary. They taught you to second-guess your instincts, to shrink in rooms that couldn't hold your spirit, to apologize for the very energy that made you divine. And while you wrestled with your worth, they watched silently, because for them, every moment you questioned your own light was a victory. They didn't celebrate publicly. No, it was quieter than that. The kind of triumph that happens when a soul forgets its own shine. But the truth is, you were never too much. You were exactly enough to shake their foundation. Your fire made them uncomfortable not because it was wrong, but because it revealed their shadows. Your depth wasn't a defect. It was a mirror they couldn't stand to look into. And every time you held back to make others comfortable, you gave them room to breathe. That was their only power over you, convincing you to reject what made you rare. But what they didn't count on was that one day you'd begin to remember that the voice inside you, the one they tried so hard to drown, would start to rise again. That you'd begin to see through the lies, the programming, the labels. And when a chosen one remembers their light, the illusion breaks. That's what's happening now. The fog is lifting. The weapon of doubt is losing its grip. And the moment you reclaim your light, unapologetically, fully, fiercely, they'll have nothing left to hold over you. Because your belief in yourself was always the key, and now you're taking it back. There was a time you believed that being alone meant you were broken, that the silence was punishment, that the distance from others was a sign that you didn't belong. But what you thought was rejection was never that. The universe wasn't pushing you away. It was tuning you in. See, when you're chosen, you're not built for the noise of the crowd or the comfort of blending in. You're not here to echo back the world's fears. You're here to speak with a voice that only silence could shape. That's why it felt like everyone left. That's why you walked through seasons of emptiness, wondering if you had done something wrong, questioning your worth when no one seemed to understand you. But in truth, the crowd was never your destination. It was your distraction. And so the universe, in its wisdom, stripped it all away. The friendships, the noise, the applause, the chaos. It all had to go. Not to hurt you, but to reveal you. Because only in stillness could your true frequency emerge. Only in solitude could your spirit remember its signal. You weren't being punished. You were being protected from interference. The world is loud, saturated with projections, expectations, and voices that don't belong to you. And if you had stayed in that noise, you would have become an echo instead of a signal. So the universe cleared the room. The silence felt sharp, the loneliness unbearable at times. But what you didn't know then is that the solitude was sacred. It was the chamber where you were rebuilt, not with external validation, but with internal knowing. It was in that void that you grew roots, that your energy became unshakable, that your vision became clear. The people who left weren't meant to recognize you, because they were never tuned to your frequency. You weren't too much. You were simply vibrating at a level they couldn't understand. And rather than rise, they retreated. But that retreat was necessary. Because you weren't being pushed out. You were being pulled up. So stop mourning what walked away. Stop questioning the silence. Your isolation wasn't abandonment. It was activation. You were being aligned, refined, and prepared. And now, you're returning, not empty, not lost, but fully charged. And this time, you're not looking for where you fit in. You're stepping in to command the space you were always meant to occupy. If there's one thing they feared most, it wasn't your strength, your voice, or even your brilliance. It was your focus. Because a focused chosen one is a force of nature, a living storm that can't be stopped. And they knew that the moment you aligned your energy, your clarity would burn through every illusion they built. So they launched a silent war, not on your body, but on your attention. They didn't need to destroy you. They only needed to keep you distracted. That's why every time you found stillness, something would crash in. Drama, chaos, confusion. People you'd outgrown resurfaced. Old wounds reopened. New problems appeared out of nowhere, not because you were unlucky, but because you were dangerous. They buried you in noise, not to defeat you, but to exhaust you. Because when you're busy putting out fires, you can't build the future you were sent to create. They threw emotional roller coasters into your path. They filled your days with fake urgencies, empty obligations, and people who drained you, hoping you'd stay in a loop of reaction instead of rising with intention. And for a while it worked. You thought being tired all the time meant something was wrong with you. You blamed yourself for being unmotivated, scattered, overwhelmed. But the truth is, you weren't broken. Your sacred energy was being siphoned off by distractions designed to keep you small. And now you're seeing it. Every time you pull your focus back to yourself, the resistance intensifies. The noise grows louder, the demands get heavier. That's not coincidence. It's the system trying to hold on. Because once you stop feeding the distractions, once you stop apologizing for choosing peace, once you remember that your time, your mind, your energy are sacred, that's when you become unstoppable. The storm isn't around you. It's been within you, waiting for you to silence the noise and reclaim the signal. Your focus is your power. Your attention is your currency. And when you spend it wisely, on purpose, on healing, on truth, the whole illusion begins to fall apart. You were under spiritual siege, but now you see. And once a chosen one becomes aware of their focus, they become a weapon the system can no longer control. For so long you believed your pain was personal, like you were cursed, like you were somehow broken in ways others weren't. You carried the weight of trauma that seemed too heavy for a heart your size, and you asked yourself, why me? But the truth is, your pain was never random. It was programmed. It was woven into your path with precision, not to punish you, but to prevent you from remembering who you are. They struck early, before you had language for your wounds, before you could defend your soul. Chaos, betrayal, abandonment. They weren't just experiences. They were calculated moves in a long game designed to confuse your identity, to hijack your power, to convince you that you were never enough. Because here's what they knew. If you ever looked past the pain, you'd find purpose. If you ever questioned why you suffered so deeply while others seemed to float through life asleep, you'd begin to wake up. And waking up? That's the system's greatest fear. They wanted you half alive, functional but fragmented. They didn't want you to crumble. No, they needed you standing, but disoriented, busy surviving instead of remembering. And for a while, you believed it. You wore their shame like your own. You called your scars burdens instead of blueprints. But that belief, that your pain was proof of weakness, was the real prison. The truth is, they didn't come for you because you were fragile. They came because you were formidable. Because your light, fully activated, would unravel everything they've built on fear. They hoped to break your spirit before it broke their illusion. But what they didn't expect was your resilience. That you would rise, not in spite of the pain, but because of it. That you would trace your trauma not to shame, but to clarity. And once you do that, once you see that every scar was a signal, every loss a lesson, every heartbreak a turning point, they lose their grip. Because a chosen one who stops running from their pain becomes unstoppable. And the very thing they tried to use to silence you becomes the force that wakes you up, sets you free, and shakes the world. You weren't cursed, you were conditioned. And now you're breaking the code. At first they mocked you, laughed at how deeply you felt, how boldly you moved, how differently you saw the world. You were too much, too intense, too weird. They rolled their eyes when you spoke your truth, dismissed your vision as fantasy. But then something changed. Quietly, they started mimicking you. The way you talked, the way you dressed, the ideas you once whispered in shadows now echoed in their mouths. And you noticed, The very energy they rejected was suddenly being repackaged, worn like a costume. But don't be fooled. This isn't admiration, it's imitation. And it never quite lands. Because while they may try to wear your light, they'll never carry its source. They can copy your style, but they can't access your frequency. That frequency wasn't taught, bought, or borrowed. It was earned, forged in silence, sculpted through solitude, refined through pain. You didn't become who you are by following trends. You became this by surviving what would have shattered most. And that's something no one can steal. What you carry isn't surface, it's soul. It's the fire that burned quietly when no one was clapping. It's the clarity that came after losing everything you thought defined you. That's the difference. They perform, but you became. While they were watching, you were transforming. While they were collecting applause, you were building depth. And now they wonder why they can copy everything you do and still not get the same results. It's because your essence can't be duplicated. You don't just influence, you ignite. You don't walk into a room seeking attention. You shift the atmosphere by being authentically aligned. And that alignment, that's what exposes the performance. That's why no matter how closely they mirror you, something still feels hollow. Because charisma can be practiced, but energy tells the truth. So let them try. Let them mirror and mimic. But never dim yourself to avoid being copied. Instead, shine louder. Because every time they try to replicate what lives in your bones, they remind the world that you were never a reflection. You were the blueprint. They can imitate your outer world all they want, but they will never carry the storms you survived to become this version of you. You are the origin, not the echo, and no one can fake the fire you walked through to remember your name. There were moments in your life when everything fell apart. Plans crumbled, people walked away, doors slammed shut before you even had the chance to step through. And in those moments, you questioned everything. You wondered if you were cursed, if the universe had turned against you, if maybe you just weren't enough. But now you're beginning to see the truth. You weren't cursed. You were protected. What felt like rejection was actually redirection. What broke your heart was never meant to break your spirit. It was meant to shield it. The closed doors weren't punishment, they were divine interventions, placed firmly in your path to keep you from settling for less than what you were born for. Because chosen ones don't just receive blessings, they require alignment. And anything out of sync with that alignment, no matter how beautiful it looked on the surface, had to go. The relationships that collapsed weren't failures, they were filters. They were never designed to carry the full weight of your calling. The opportunities that vanished weren't lost. They were distractions dressed as rewards, veering you away from a higher path you couldn't yet see. And the delays, the painful pauses, those were grace in disguise. The universe wasn't withholding, it was preparing. It was saying, not this, not them, not yet. Because your path is sacred ground, and not everything, or everyone, is meant to walk it with you. But when you didn't know that, it felt like pain. You grieved the people who left, the dreams that didn't take flight, the versions of your life that never came to be. Yet now, if you look closer, you'll notice a pattern. Every collapse made space for clarity. Every loss removed a layer of illusion. Every detour led you closer to your true self. You were never being punished. You were being positioned. The universe doesn't gamble with rare energy, it guards it. And sometimes that protection looks like loss, feels like heartbreak, sounds like silence. But that's only because your destiny requires more than comfort. It demands truth, power, purpose. And now that you're seeing with open eyes, you realize that what didn't work out was working for you all along. And every no that shattered you back then was a sacred yes in disguise. From the outside, it looked like your battles were with circumstances, lost jobs, broken relationships, missed chances, but the real war was never out there. The battlefield was always in your mind. The system never truly needed to take your possessions, your status, or even your voice. It only needed to hijack your perception. Because once it controlled how you saw yourself, it didn't need chains or bars. You'd hold yourself back. You'd silence your own truth. You'd believe the lies they planted so long ago that they began to sound like your own thoughts. You're not ready. You're too broken. No one will understand you. These weren't your beliefs. They were installations. Subtle, persistent programming slipped into your psyche through culture, childhood wounds, media, and manipulated environments. They whispered just loud enough to steer your thoughts, not to destroy you completely, but to keep you compliant, numb, small. They didn't want you enlightened. They wanted you entertained, exhausted, and emotionally overstimulated. Because the moment you think clearly, you see the game. And the moment a chosen one sees the game, they stop playing it. That's why your clarity has always been under attack, why confusion followed you, why your peace was always interrupted. Because an awakened mind is a threat to every illusion built on lies. But here's what they didn't expect. You're awakening. Slowly, subtly, painfully at times, but undeniably, you're remembering. You're questioning your own thoughts, your old beliefs, and realizing most of them aren't even yours. The fog is lifting. The veil is cracking. And with every moment of self-awareness, the old programs lose their grip. You are no longer walking through life half asleep, blindly following the narrative. You're rewriting it, reclaiming your voice, restoring your vision. And as that inner light returns, so does your power. Not the kind that dominates, but the kind that liberates. The kind that sees through manipulation, refuses self-betrayal, and stands tall in truth. And now, every step you take in clarity dismantles what was built on your confusion. That's why they feared your awakening, not because of what you have, but because of what you remember. Because when a chosen one takes back their mind, everything that tried to control them begins to fall apart. And that's exactly what's happening now. You spent so long bracing for the storm, waiting for things to get worse, preparing for the next wave of pain, the next trial, the next collapse. But what you didn't realize is that the storm you were fearing was you. You weren't meant to hide from the chaos. You were born to become it. Not chaos in the sense of destruction, but in the sense of disruption. A divine, untamable force sent to shake the foundations of everything built on lies. You weren't made to survive the storm. You were made to shift it, to awaken the world by your presence alone. And that's what they feared most. Not your voice, not your story, but your energy. Unapologetic, undeniable, and completely out of their control. You've been told your whole life to tone it down, to be quieter, easier, more digestible. But that was never your role. You weren't sent here to be comfortable. You were sent to make systems tremble. You were designed to carry fire in a world addicted to shadows, to bring clarity where confusion reigned, to walk boldly into spaces that never welcomed you and change the atmosphere without asking for permission. That's why your presence has always felt heavy, because it carries impact. And now, the truth is rising in you like a tidal wave. You're not waiting for something powerful to arrive. You are the arrival. You are the shift. You are the thunder that breaks silence. And as you step into this truth, as you embody the fullness of who you were always meant to be, the world around you will react. Some will distance themselves. Some will try to dim you again. But don't take it personally. Take it as confirmation. Because a storm doesn't ask permission to shake the sky. It just moves. And that's what you must do now. Move with purpose. Speak with clarity. Rise without apology. You are no longer a fragment. You are a force. No longer asking, when will the change come? But realizing, I am the change. So stop waiting. Stop shrinking. Stop bracing. The storm isn't coming. It's already here. And it's wearing your name. The moment everything begins to shift, not outside of you, but within. The moment when doubt gives way to remembrance, and hesitation bows to alignment. You've walked through fire, through silence, through the storm of your own becoming, and now, You're standing in the truth of who you were always meant to be. This isn't the end of a message. It's the beginning of a movement, a return, a rising. You're not here by accident. You were guided here because the universe knew it was time. Time for you to remember. So let this be the turning point, the moment you stop playing small, the moment you stop shrinking to fit what never deserved you. From this moment on, walk like you know who you are. Speak like you carry a frequency the world can't duplicate. Move like you were born to awaken others, because you were. And if this message spoke to something deep inside you, if you felt the truth crack open in your chest, if your spirit stirred while your eyes read these words, then know this wasn't just inspiration. This was activation. So thank you for showing up, for listening, for remembering. You are not alone. You are part of something bigger, something ancient, something unstoppable. If this message awakened something in you, help us spread the light. Subscribe to this channel, drop a comment below, and share this with someone who needs it. Every like, every share, every interaction sends this signal out to the other chosen ones who are still waiting to wake up. Because when we rise together, they fall faster.